In our last chapter, we introduced an overview of the first installment of our series on using social media to build and drive business and ultimately make money. We've entitled this series, Monetizing Mayberry. You see, in a small town, most people probably know more than they even want to know about their neighbors and their neighbors' lives. Because the population of the community is so small, it takes minimal resources for even a very small business to reach each and every one of their customers. We've chosen Mayberry to represent the small town community and the small town economy that the digital world has taken us back to. If you're going to use social media to make money and to grow your business, you need to understand the new small town dynamics of Mayberry.
As we discussed in Chapter 1, these principles will serve as the foundation for your business's overarching social media strategy and the guide for every marketing initiative you implement to achieve your goals. If you're unable to understand the developments that brought us here, you'll never be able to take full advantage of these developments. We've seen quite a number of businesses jump into the social media game without any strategy, and those businesses often end up scratching their heads, wondering why they couldn't achieve any of their business goals in this growing social media market. Understanding the small town economy of Mayberry is crucial for social media communication success. Let's take a look back to the future.
You know, in the small town economy, or Mayberry, the national chain of butcher shops has no significant advantage in spreading the word about business over the mom and pop butcher shop. It's just not that difficult for mom and pop to reach everyone in their market, and it doesn't take an abundance of resources. They could knock on every door in a town in a day or two. In the same way, a small business can reach just as many people on the web as a large corporation with very few resources. Any of the 1 billion users on Facebook could access your business page as easily as Walmart's business page. And the same goes for your YouTube video or your Twitter feed. The playing field has been leveled in a way that we haven't seen since before radio and television were introduced. On the flip side of the coin is our inability to control or to manipulate information about ourselves and our businesses. In Mayberry, there's very little that you don't know about any of the people in town, and that you couldn't find out fairly quickly. Just ask around. Even if a potential customer doesn't know you or your business very well, he or she will certainly have friends that do. And your customers' friends will gladly share their opinion.
If you get your name in the paper, it'll show up on everyone's doorstep the next morning. If Barney cuffs you and throws you into the back of his squad car, you can be sure that the neighbors will peer out their windows and watch you ride past. Those that didn't witness your trouble firsthand will get word of it soon enough. The same goes for your digital community. If people want to find out how you do business, they'll just ask their friends on Facebook. Odds are a few of them have a story to tell, positive or negative. If you get a flattering write-up in a business article, it will show up in your neighbor's Twitter feed. If you're not treating customers well, word will spread. Don't believe me? Go to Google, type in United Brakes Guitars. Over 500,000 people saw a video on YouTube of a disgruntled customer singing about having his guitar smashed by a United Airlines worker. Before United Airlines properly responded to the customer, the video had over 13 million views. You could also go to search Twitter hashtag for McD Stories. McDonald's intended to use this hashtag for customers to post their positive experience, but disgruntled and disenfranchised customers took over the hashtag to tell their stories of frustration and negative experiences. These are truly social media train wrecks that the world stopped to watch.
And so now you're starting to see the similarities between our new media world and the small town economy of Mayberry. It's time to ask yourself, how should my business marketing change? Let's say you've opened up a barbershop on Main Street to compete with Floyd's. You need to drum up some new business because everyone in town gets their hair cut at Floyd's. He's been cutting hair in Mayberry for over 30 years. You could purchase a radio ad, broadcast it to every citizen in Mayberry as they drive around town. Tell everyone how dapper your haircuts look, how comfortable your chair is, and how clean your shave feels. The problem is that you're not just talking to Floyd's customers, you're talking to Floyd's friends. Even if one of them did let you cut his hair, and it turned out just as good as Floyd's haircut, you'd still be fighting an uphill battle.
Floyd was born and raised in Mayberry. His barbershop is an institution. It's where folks come to play chess, shoot the breeze, read magazines, or strum a guitar. When a business is slow, you're sure to find Floyd on the bench in front of his shop, gently waving to the townsfolk who pass by. Floyd raises prize-winning pansies. He goes fishing at Myers Lake and plays the trombone. Being a civic-minded citizen, Floyd has volunteered to be a town deputy. He served as the secretary of the Businessmen's Club and belongs to the local chapter of the Regal Order of the Golden Door to Good Fellowship. You don't need a radio ad to compete with Floyd. You need relationships and a solid reputation. To achieve these, you'll have to get to know your customers. You'll have to integrate yourself into the community and connect with the people there. You'll need to build trust and credibility. A good product at a good price is a good start, but it's going to take a lot more than that to take business from an institution in the Mayberry economy. The people of Mayberry will need to know you, trust you, and like you. Achieving that will take a lot of communication, engaging, listening, and giving.
Pepsi did just that in 2010 using social media. The worldwide soft drink company had a tremendous challenge in trying to become more like Floyd's barbershop and less like a corporate giant. But they took the battle against Coca-Cola to the streets, to the neighborhoods, neighborhood by neighborhood, with their Pepsi Refresh campaign. You see, Pepsi had invested $12 million in Super Bowl advertising in previous years and had been a solid advertiser for 23 years. But the Pepsi Refresh campaign redirected that $12 million in 2010. Instead of spending it on Super Bowl ads, Pepsi decided to give it all away. All of it on community projects. The strategy was to have consumers submit their ideas on the best way to spend the money to improve their local community. Once the ideas were submitted, fans voted on which projects should be funded. Funds were divided into cash prizes from $5,000 to $250,000 per award. And the projects with the most votes won the money for their pet project. Pepsi announced the Refresh concept to its fans on Facebook. And from there, fans spread the word about the voting to each of their communities. Person by person, town by town, neighborhood by neighborhood. Pepsi gave away the money to better each winning community. And in 2 years of running the campaign, they received 60 million votes. That's more votes than a candidate in the 2012 presidential election received. Whether it was a youth league baseball field, a literacy program, or a wounded soldiers recovery fund, Pepsi Refresh made itself a neighbor in specific communities by becoming an ally to those already entrenched in these communities. And when that youth league baseball field was finished, I have to believe that they put a Pepsi logo on the scoreboard to be a permanent reminder that Pepsi was the one who cared enough to make a difference and to make it possible.
At Mayberry, we took a similar approach with one of our clients, Tim Leeper Roofing, a residential roofing company that had to overcome strong negative sentiment from the public in regards to home service contractors, specifically roofing contractors. Certain public opinion polls cite home service contractors as one of the most mistrusted professions, and roofers as the most mistrusted of home service contractors. Neighbors will not likely let you entrench yourself in a community, much less let you in their home, if they don't feel they can trust you. We had to find a way to change the community's perception of Tim Leeper from the typical roofer to the Floyd's barbershop of roofing. We decided to present Tim not as a roofer at all, but since Tim operates his local business in Nashville, the Music City, we presented Tim Leeper as a local rock star. Thus, the Music City Guitar Tour was born. Tim traveled around town with a guitar slung over his back, getting it autographed by local celebrities, and then he gave it away to charity. His Facebook fans were given the task not only of nominating the charities, but of voting on the most deserving charity to be awarded the Music City Guitar. Tim quickly became a trustworthy neighbor to each of those nominated organizations. Then, when each organization encouraged their fans to go vote on Tim's site, Tim became a trustworthy neighbor to each of the organization's fans' communities. These organizations have broad fan bases, and their fans have vast communities.
You see, just like Mayberry, if Andy tells you to go to Floyd for your haircut, you know that you can trust Floyd because Andy trusts Floyd. It's the same in the new social economy. People today have more options than ever when it comes to purchasing products and services. Offering a quality product at a fair price will involve you in the discussion. But how will you separate yourself from the rest? In today's Mayberry economy, businesses must gain permission from their audience to present their message. Consumers can subscribe or can unsubscribe from your emails. They can follow or they can unfollow your tweets on a whim. Consumers need to know you, to trust you, and to like you, literally. Radio and television ads may push your message out there, but it's extremely hard to get someone to like you in 30 seconds. To gain a person's trust, you need to listen to what they have to say. Let them know that you understand their needs and to care about meeting their needs. Then you have to give consistently. Give answers, give solutions, provide them value. Theodore Roosevelt understood the dynamics of social media before it existed when he said, "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." Communicating within social media can bring solid results to your business. The ROI will depend on the perceptions of those you communicate with on Main Street.